What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Les Alex here, and today we are continuing our Pioneer Plunge with Azorius Control. I am super stoked for this one because today I'm showing you a bit of a gameplay against a brand new deck, the Greasefang combo. Really fun games in this one. I'm super stoked, as I said, to bring you this gameplay. But of course, if you dig the content, make sure to hit the like button and smash the subscribe button and that bell icon so you get notified every time I post a new video. Super stoked. Pioneer is awesome, and I'm really excited for this one. If you guys want to help support further, head on over to thelotuscards.com. Use coupon code LESALEX. Save yourself 5%. I get a small kickback. It's a win-win for everybody. And if you want to watch the games being played live, head on over to twitch.tv/LesAlex. Hit that follow button. I stream weekly over there, usually playing some form of Azorius Control. Additionally, if you want to interact with me, I'm very active over on Twitter, @LesAlex over there. So with all that stuff out of the way, let's jump into the deck tech and then get into these games. Really stoked for this one. All right, let's take a look at this deck list. It is a little bit different from my last video. Again, you can check that video out right up there. But if you do want to just skip ahead to the gameplay, I don't blame you. But here it is, 26 lands, 2 Castle Arden Vales. Of course, this makes humans. It pressures planeswalkers. It protects our planeswalkers, protects our life. Card's great as a 2-of. Castle Vantress, Scrying 2 is super underrated. And in the late game, you win the attrition battles. This card is great. Next up, we are playing one Aganjo, brand new white channel land, being able to deal 4. That pretty much kills most things in Pioneer. So whenever they attack, you get to kill them. It kills vigilance stuff too. Pretty cool. Field Ruin, obviously killing creature lands and other problematic lands in the format. 1 Gyre Reach Sanitarium. So my thought here, it pairs with Narset. I actually really love this combo. It's kind of janky and sometimes not really worth it, but it is pretty sweet with Narset because if you do it on their turn, they just discard a card and you get the value. So all upside. Glacial Fortress, as a 4-of, obviously just a good dual land. Hall of Storm Giants, you can end games extremely quickly with this, and the Ward 3 is nutter butters. Hallowed Fountain, obviously just a great dual land. Irrigated Farmland, excellent. We like the cycle, I think more so than any other deck in the format. We like the cycle. Then we have 3 islands, 1 Otawara. This is the new channel land, the blue channel land. Being able to deal with planeswalkers, super important, and that is the main thing that you want to do with this one is bounce planeswalkers and counter them on the way back down, and then just 1 planes. Next up, we have 4 Considers. This card's great. You guys know. You guys already know. 1 March. I really like this card. I've got 1 in the sideboard. I think I would continue to play more just because this card is the real deal, I think. It deals with a lot of things other than planeswalkers, but other than that, this card is excellent. Next up, we got Azorius Charm, just great. And the fact that we're playing Wandering Emperor, giving your creatures lifelink is really good, and it does come up more so than you would think. Obviously, drawing a card's fine, and being able to time walk your opponent, always great. This card is just excellent early game interaction. Dovin's Veto, this card's great against all the combo decks. It stops planeswalkers, and of course, it's great against the mirror. Narset, again, this card combos with Gyre Reach Sanitarium. And let me just talk about Gyre Reach Sanitarium. You tap 2, tap it. Each player draws a card and then discards a card. And like I said, if you do this on your opponent's turn with Narset on the battlefield, they just discard a card. So like I said, just all upside. 4 Absorbs. 4 Absorbs, I'd probably go down to 3 just because I would probably like to play more Marches here. And yeah, it's just 3 mana is a lot, but still just the gold standard for hard removal or hard counter in this format. Settle the Wreckage. I love this card. This may or may not come up big in our matches here against this new Parhelion deck, so be on the lookout for that. May or may not. Wandering Emperor, this card's great. I would play more of these. I think this card is excellent in Pioneer. I think it's excellent in every format, really. Probably play one of these in Modern too. Next up, the best card in the deck, Supreme Verdict. Pioneer is a creature-based format. they're trying to kill you with these creatures, and we don't want that. So this is great. Can't be countered, so other blue decks, you know, counter spells don't work on this. Moving on down the line, let me scoot this down. Teferi, Hero of Dominaria. This is how you're going to win probably 80% of your games. If this thing stays on the board for 2 or 3 turns, the game ends. Your opponent should scoop. It's too much. Next up, Elspeth, Sun's Champion. This is kind of a throwback, but I do love this card, and it does come up in this match. So really excited. This card is fun to play. Reminds me of really whenever I started really getting into Magic, kind of competitively. Torrential Gear Hulk, I'm a fan of this card, which is why we're playing a commit and memory. Committing something is excellent, and you can actually memory, even though it's a sorcery, you can choose the memory side. And if Narset's on the battlefield, it's a blowout. The game basically ends on the spot because they get to discard their hand, not draw any cards. Well, they draw 1, I guess. And then, yeah, it's such a blowout. And then 2 dig through times. This card's sweet. I've actually, I don't know. I kind of like the new Memory Deluge a little bit more, to be honest. But this card, still pretty sweet. Definitely worth trying. Moving on to the sideboard, we got 2 Deafening Silence. This card is good against the Aura's deck, and of course against the Lotus combo deck. They really can't beat it, of course, unless they remove it. Rest in Peace. Again, this card is good against a lot of decks. It's actually very good against the Parhelion combo deck, so maybe it'll come up. A second Settler Wreckage. I like this card. It's sometimes good, it's sometimes bad. If they don't know about it, it's insane. Obviously, if they know about it, revealing it off Narset is just like the worst feeling ever because they just play around it so well. But overall, it's a bit of a meme, but I like this card. Next up, March of Otherworld. Again, I really like this card. I'd play more. I would definitely be playing like 3 or 4 of these between your 75. Moving forward, Aether Gust. This card, obviously the aggro decks. I don't think in my current list I'm playing any of these anymore, but I still like it. I still like it. It's still very good. Next up, Mystical Dispute ×2. This card's great against combo decks and other Azorius control decks. Narset, again, great against mid-range, great against combo decks trying to draw a bunch of cards in a turn, and of course control. Hullbreak Horror, again, I've only played this. If you watch my last video, I said I'd only played it like 1 or 2 times. That's up to about 3 or 4. Again, as a one of in a sideboard, you're not going to get to play it all that much, but everybody else is playing it, and when it's resolved, you basically cannot lose. So pretty good. The 4th Veto, obviously, for reasons that I explained earlier. This card's insane. And then a Dream Trawler. Dream Trawler is a card that I've liked, honestly. But it's good in some matches, not so much in others. That's why it's in the sideboard now. So, all right, with this deck tech out of the way, let me know what you guys think about this list. What would you change? What do you like? Let me know in the comments below. But with that out of the way, let's jump into these games. Alrighty, as you guys know, I've already played these games. We're just gonna run through it. I'm gonna give you my thoughts and opinions on the plays. If there's any crucial decision points, I will stop the play. But they play Hot Shot Mechanic. If you guys don't know, let's go ahead and pause. This is a 1-mana 2/1, and it can crew as though it had power or 2 greater, so it can crew as a 4-drop. Pretty decent for these Greasefang decks. They attack. We Azorius Charm, thanks for playing. Put that back on top of your library. They play Hallowed Fountain, pass back. We play Island and just pass. They play Island and pass. We consider Supreme Verdict. Yes, please, I want that card. We play our Castle and pass right on back. They then Thirst for Knowledge. No consideration here to Dovin's Veto. Not worth it. Let them do it. They do put Parhelion in their bin, so we know exactly what we're playing against. We then cast Wandering Emperor, EOT, make a Samurai, and untap. We play Castle Vantress, put a +1 counter on our Samurai, and get to Bastion. They then March of Otherworldly light it away. Sure, that's fair. Crack a fetch, and then they attack. Our Wandering Emperor goes to 2. We then make a human token. Let me pause right here because I wanted to Oh, well, the game ended, but let me pause here as to why I didn't want to block the hot shot mechanic. The reason I didn't want to tap out because you have 2 counter spells. So if they had a follow-up, like a Planeswalker or, 4 mana's a lot of mana. 4 mana is a decent amount of mana to be able to do something that's relevant to the board state. So I let them just attack our Wandering Emperor. And then we just made a token in step. Then we, of course, drew Elspeth past turn. And they drew their card and scooped it up. On to game 2. Alrighty, game 2. We had to take a mulligan here. So this is our hand, though. Plains, Hallowed Fountain, Narset, Dispute, Charm, and Veto. So pretty much an excellent hand. They lead with Mech Hanger. We play Hallowed Fountain tapped, pass back. They play Island, and then Chart a Course. Sure. Getting rid of Sky Sovereign, so combo is starting to, take shape here for them. They then cast Greasefang, get back Sky Sovereign, crew Sky Sovereign, and attack for 6. We do Azorius Charm it. Thanks for playing back to the top of your deck there, Chief. We play our Field Rune. So our mana is kind of wonky here. They thirst for knowledge here. We do decide to veto because we don't want them to put anything else in their bin. If they had a Parhelion, we'd be pretty dead there. They attack. We draw Absorb. Pass back. They Faithful Mending. Can't stop that, unfortunately. Greasefang triggers when they go into combat. Parhelion enters the battlefield. Parhelion attacks. They get 2 4/4 Angels. And we go ahead and Field of Ruin them. Get our island. Take a bunch of damage. Drop to 3. Draw our card. Settle the Wreckage. A great card here. But unfortunately, that is not going to do it. So we had to scoop it up. On to game number 3. All right, so they were able to combo us out on game 2. Here on game 3, though, we lead with Glacial Fortress, pass back, keeping a hand of Double Verdict, Veto, Consider, Rest in Peace, Field of Ruin. Now, our mana is wonky, yes, but Rest in Peace, probably the most important card in this matchup. We do immediately play it because we didn't want it to get countered. Rest in Peace resolves. They play Chart a Course. Sure, Chart a Course with Rest in Peace in play. I'm about that. You can have that opponent. We do pass. So they play Greasefang. We consider, draw Settle the Wreckage, play our land, pass back. They play Fabled Passage, attack with Greasefang. It's just 4 damage, though, so that is A-okay. Go ahead and field them. They thirst for knowledge. That's fine. All their stuff's going to the bin, or going to exile, rather. So that is perfectly fine. We play our land, pass back. Again, Rest in Peace doing work. You can see how much heavy lifting this Rest in Peace is doing for us. They attack. We take 4, sure. They play Hot Shot mechanic. Excellent. We draw Veto. And we decide, okay, 2 for 1 is fine. Go ahead and Verdict. Then they play Tezzeret. Yikes. Pretty good. They draw up. Parhelion entered exile. We consider. We bottom that, or put that in the graveyard, rather. Then we find our land, finally. We're looking for our land to play Elspeth. They play a land. Draw 2 cards. Sky Sovereign enters exile. They have Zika's Chariot. This time we do have the Veto. Then they Greasefang. Sure. And they pass back. This turn, though, we get to make an Elspeth Suns Champion. Uptick. There's 3 duders. Pass back. Tezzeret going up. They attack with Greasefang. We just decide, no, we don't want to triple block because we do need to put some pressure on that Tezzeret. They Chart a Course. Chart a Course entered exile. And then they pass back. We draw Narset. We attack. I believe we attacked the Tezzeret here. Yep, Tezzeret drops to 5. We made 3 more tokens and cast Narset. They Mystical Dispute. We respond with a Dovin's Veto. And then they dispute right back. So that's what I was saying. You know, Dovin's Veto is great when you're trying to stop their threats. Not so great at protecting your own because they can just go back and recounter. They uptick to Tezzeret here. They cast Parhelion. That's pretty scary. Luckily, it doesn't have haste, though. We play Hall. And then we get to Bastion. They block with Greasefang, but Tezzeret drops to 2. We then make 3 more soldiers and pass back. Again, we have this settle in our hand that's going to be pretty spicy whenever they do decide to attack, and look at that. So we are going to be able to really get them here. The settle is going to end their life, send them to the Shadow Realm, and that does it for Game 3. We got the W, won the match. That's what it's all about. All right, there you go, everybody. That was Azorius Control versus the new Greasefang Parhelion combo. What'd you guys think? Pretty cool deck from them. I really enjoyed playing against it. Rest in peace doing work. The Settle the Wreckage was nuts. I think I did misplay. I don't think I should have Wrath because I had the Settle there. So when they went to go cast their Tezzeret, had I just waited, I would have been able to counter it. So I do think that's a huge misplay. But what'd you think? Did you think my gameplay was pretty tight? Let me know in the comments below. I love hearing back from you. And if you want to help support the content even further, of course, hit up the lotuscards.com. Use coupon code LessAlex over there. Save yourself 5%. I get a small kickback, so it's a win-win. If you want to watch me play these games live over on Twitch, twitch.tv/LessAlex is the place. I play weekly over there, get some games in. And, of course, if you want to chop it up with me, talk off-stream about Azorius Control and other just Magic-related stuff, I am very active on Twitter, so twitter.com/LessAlex. And before you go, you made it to the end, you might as well hit that like button and subscribe if you're new. I'm coming out with videos every single week, so it should be fun. I appreciate you. Let's keep spreading some Azorius propaganda to the masses. I appreciate you, and until the next one, catch y'all on the flippy flop. Adios.